Mr Chair.
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Chair, it gives me great pleasure, in fact, to take a call tonight to talk about Budget 2015 because, as we heard from the Select Committee Chair, my colleague Alfred Naro, of course this is a huge year for those who are the less well off in our communities, because in Budget 2015 a $790 million package was announced by this government focused on reducing hardship for children in some of our poorest families. A 43-year watershed when this government announced a $25 a week increase in the benefits. No other government in 43 years has actually focused on those receiving a benefit and lifted that benefit. And this government did it, and they hate it in the opposition because in the very best of economic times, that Labor government did not lift the benefit, ignored people who are on a benefit. And this government announced that as from 1 April next year, the people will get a $25 increase in the benefit. And not only that, 43 years, and not only that, we also looked at those who are working hard, and we know there are many families in New Zealand that are working hard but are still on very low incomes, and their children are still experiencing hardship. And so we have lifted the minimum family tax credit and the in-work tax credit so that those families that are eligible for those also receive an increase of anything between $12 a week extra and $25 a week extra. And we have increased the subsidy for childcare. Now, we've done that because we, contrary to the previous speaker, we know from experience what is working well, particularly with parents, people reliant on the sole parent benefit. We know what support is needed to help those people out into work and independence. Independence of the state is extremely important. So we know from experience what is working, what support is working, and we know the determination of many of those people to be independent. So from 1 April next year, it's just interesting that a sole parent now working 20 hours a week on a minimum wage, receiving the minimum family tax credit and the in-works tax credit could be $190 a week better off. That is the difference that it makes getting people, helping people and supporting them into work and supporting their families. $190 a week better off and independent of the state. And that's the ambition that this party, National Party, has for those people, because we know that the outlook for those children in families that are reliant on the state for a benefit are not great. Their lifetime expectations are not great, because the stats tell us that those children that are born into homes that are included in a main benefit within the first 2 weeks of their life, 48% of them will have a SIF notification. Almost half those kids will have a referral to SIF. 48% of them will not attain NCA level 2. And we know how that is the minimum qualification that a young person needs to go on to get a good job, to go on to further tertiary education, or to go into an apprenticeship. So almost half those kids, we know, if nothing changes in their lives, will not have that. And then 45% of them will go on to receive a youth benefit. And again, the outlook for youngsters going on to a youth benefit is that they are most likely to still be on that youth benefit in 20 years' time. So the absolute imperative is to help people become independent of the state, able to stand on their own 2 feet, able to support themselves and their families, to stand on their own 2 feet, and therefore we have put into play
I'm going to call
these benefits.
Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr.